And we're back. Hello everybody, Dark Phoenix Gaming here, and welcome back to Let's Try Stellaris AlphaMod and about 90 bajillion others. As I just turned the UI on again, and last time we left off, we had been effectively boxed in between a fallen empire over here in the mid-rim, the Borg's annoying second cousins here, who took the couple of systems I would need to grab to be able to expand in any direction whatsoever, and the religious cultists over here, who, by virtue of wanting to be left alone, decided to rival us. Clearly, that makes perfect sense. Clearly it does. So, we have a handful more systems we're claiming. But eventually I'm going to have to go to war with the assimilators. Because, number one, they are an obvious threat to our interests, being assimilators. And number two, we can't just stay boxed in for the rest of the game. I'm not the kind of person who can get behind playing tall, quite honestly. Also, in between the last session and this one, I went around and did a little bit of renaming to a couple of systems that I just couldn't pronounce the names of, so this has become the York system. This right here is the Qing system. This is now the Acropolis system. This is the Iberia system. This one right here is now the Taurus system. Other than that, I have not renamed any systems. But I have gone ahead and renamed Sirius Prime and Alpha Centauri Prime. Alpha Centauri Prime is now Osaka, and Sirius Prime is Arcadia. Speaking of Osaka, though, they're beginning to have some housing problems, so I think they need a city district. We're also running a minor deficit on natural fuels that I'll need to do something about at some point, and we're building another alloy foundry on Earth because we're getting to the point where a massive military buildup is going to become necessary, seeing as we are going to have to build up our fleets if we want to strike against the assimilators, who I'm just going to refer to as Borg Jr. from now on, just because I think that's funny or something. Our science ship here is doing this doing a couple of anomalies for us. And also we have three outposts currently upgrading to starports. I'm planning to upgrade the one in Sirius to being our primary core world shipyard. So that's going to be where we produce most of our starships. And I am going to slap down as many shipyards on here as I can, so we can basically have it cranking out ships around the clock. Aplobus here. This starbase is going to become an anchorage, because 28 naval capacity is not enough. Nowhere near. Over here in the Gatara system, which I am actually going to slightly rename this just a little bit. Just personal quirk thing. Over in the Gatara system, I am going to make this into a Bastion. I'm going to upgrade that into a defensive starbase, so we can fortify our border with the assimilators. That's one good thing about the way they've boxed us in. There's only one system between our space, so I can just fortify this and we'll be fine. I also have my construction ship heading up to the Bardagon system, which I will also be turning into a Bastion to fortify against these cultist idiots. Those are my initial plans. Build up my fleet some more, and eventually take the fight to the assimilators, who I have declared my rival. Even though the cultists here have rivaled me, I've not returned the favor just yet. And it might be a good idea to do that. Yes, why not? They're rivaling us, so we may as well return the favor. Remember this moment when their fleets orbit Earth? Not bloody likely. If we weren't such assholes, we wouldn't have to rival you. Anyways, I think we can unpause the game now. And you don't really need to worry about my energy thing at the moment. That just seems to be a little quirk with Megacorp right now, in the sense that it will not have an accurate count of my income and everything until a month passes, and it always resets that when you reload the game. A little bit annoying, but I can deal with it. As you see, we are +6 on energy. We still need to deal with our food and consumer goods, which we're getting slightly low on at the moment. But it's nothing major. So, I'm also moving my second fleet, which we've only recently started to assemble.
Construction completed.
Up here, and I'm going to assign it to Sirius as its home base. All 3 of my stations have finished. We only have about 100 alloys stored, so I won't be able to do all the buildings if I need to right away. But I will get started on upgrading to a shipyard, and I'm going to give this place a crew quarters as well, so dock ships don't cost as much to maintain. I might also put down a solar panel network, actually. Let's see, what is there available? Yeah, solar panel network I'll probably put there as well. But that fleet is going to be the next one to get expanded and things, because our first fleet, headquartered at the Sol system, is already at full strength for our current fleet command limit. I was struggling for the word there for a second. Once we have the fleet command limit, I am going to start expanding that fleet. And our command limit, it won't be going up anytime soon, because we haven't got the research for destroyers yet, but we should be getting robots in about 40 months, which will be nice, because if I can at least get up to droids, if I'm remembering this right, then that will let me colonize some new planets with robots, so we can get some new places in my empire that we can control using robots, at least for the time being, and not have to put humans down on really unsuitable worlds. Because right now humans are all we have to colonize with. I want to start making friends and have good relations with people where possible, but unfortunately we started in a rather hostile neighborhood right next to the Borg's cousin, right next to Borg Jr. and the cultists. We'll have to take out at least one of them before we're in any position to start doing any sort of peaceful relationship type things. Because I'm sure there should be some aliens out in the galaxy who do not want to murderbot our faces. We'll just have to find them. The next thing we're going to put in place is our defensive bastion. First, I want a gun battery. The next thing I'm going to want is a disruption field generator. Reduce the fire rate of my enemy's ships. Should make it easier to blow them up if they decide to attack here. We are also moving in to build that.
Construction completed.
Now, construction on Earth is finished of that alloy foundry. Next month we should start pumping out some more alloys. We really need more energy credits though. That's going to be a problem. And we have indeed managed to get Bardagun before any of our potential rivals, but our energy credit income has flatlined now. We're not even making 1 credit a month. Gonna have to work on that. Shouldn't be too long, a couple of months, and serious Shipyard should be ready. Go check out that anomaly for me, please. Sirius Station, the name is going to be changed because I'd like to do the whole thematic naming thing. Even if I'm not doing this as a roleplay series. This is now the Sirius Shipyards. Our 1 gun battery should be coming in there soon. I'll stick a single anchorage on Ablapis Station. Yeah, I'm renaming that system soon enough. And I'm going to leave the building slots empty there for now, because if we can get up to the Fleet Doctrine research, I can't remember the name, but it's one research that it gives you an extra building slot, which will make it so that you can put this building on a shipyard, on an anchorage, and all the anchorages on that particular station give you 2 more naval capacity, which is really nice. But now I got some more building to do there. Shipyard is completing itself, and that gun battery should be done in a couple of months. Okay. Economy is starting to tank ever so slightly. We built all the energy districts that were promised, and there's a new election coming up. As per usual, in the early game, I'm not going to be butting into the elections, and I will just let things sort of unfold as they will. Essentially.
Construction completed.
That station is done. We have the border here. Go build those energy stations, I think. And then you can go down here and just build the energy places there as well. And in Iberia. I'm just building the energy mines right now, rather than all the mines. Being a little cautious about it and all that. Going to take a while, what with how far apart these systems are, but oh well. There. That should do it. Mine up all that energy for me. I'll eventually upgrade this system to being a defensive station as well, but for the moment, I can't afford it. Population growth over on Osaka is not bad.
Construction
We have a little
completed.
bit of a stability issue from overcrowding currently. This is going to be the Gotara Bastion. So that's what it's going to be, a bastion of defense. This will be an anchorage. I'll also put down a solar panel network there, which instantly builds. I'm not sure why it does that. Solar panel network. What is it, like really easy to set up or something? But the solar panel network just instantly completes. I didn't notice this before, but it has no build time. Same with the Starbase Administrator. I wonder what's up with that. Is that purposeful or is it a bug? We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. (10:01), the election finishes. And our president's mandate. We have expanded the districts. So that gives us 194 unity. And we have re-elected our current ruler, Akiri Yamasaki, who is actually my starting ruler. Lest you have forgotten that. Kick it back up to fast speed. You will soon be obsolete, humans. Yes, very eloquent. These guys don't know how to do a proper insult. Let me show you how it is done. Color me impressed, Kelbrids. You have more bugs than an arthropod all-you-can-eat dung buffet. You see? That is how you insult someone. Honestly. Who taught you how to insult people? You're awful at it. Let's see. Osaka still has a few months to go before its living quarters are finished. Your listening post. We've discovered several massive listening arrays on Iberia 4. These arrays are millions of years old, and we believe they were originally built by the Yud, though it appears at least one other alien civilization repurposed them at some point in the last 500,000 years for their own needs. The colossal receiving dishes are beyond repair, but some terminals are still intact.
Situation log has been
That has
updated.
issued a special project. Let's see. Precursors the Yut. We need one scientist in orbit. So, you can go work on that project. It'll take a couple months, then you'll be done.
Construction completed.
The Aplobus Starbase has finished its first anchorage, boosting our naval capacity. Let's see. We've also got our second shipyard done on Sirius, meaning the shipyard is accurate now rather than just shipyard. So this is probably going to be our main naval production location for the foreseeable future at Sirius, and is where a lot of my warships are probably going to be churned out, at least until we start expanding and claiming a lot of territory. At which point I'll need to establish some shipyards closer to whatever the front line is at that stage. Let's see. The anchorage here we could upgrade, but I think instead I'll start working on my Bastion here. Let's see. A communications jammer would be nice, but we're lacking 10 of some resource that I don't know what it is. Disruption field generator will need 100 alloys. So that's not going to happen for a while. And I know for certain that I don't currently have the resources to upgrade our starbase here into a starport. We need 180. I don't have anywhere near that. I could add a second anchorage. Or possibly, if I wanted to, I could upgrade my shipyard. I could upgrade my Bastion here and give it another gun battery, or maybe a missile battery. I suppose I could also give it a hangar bay, but I don't know. Do we want to start putting in strikecraft as early on? Might be useful to have some on our Bastion, but generally I think of Bastions as just you put a lot of guns in one place, and they kill the enemy, rather than anything else. I'm not sure. Do I want a second gun battery? Or just a missile battery? I'm not seeing anything different. Missile weapons get added to it. Whatever. I'm gonna put on a missile battery just to add some variety, I think. And then, while we're dealing with that, there is one other thing I've got to do right now. Apparently I did this already. because I thought we would have to upgrade our defensive platforms, because the ones that you start out with are kind of crap. I can remove those couple of reactor boosters since we have the fusion reactor now. So when I started out, I did actually need those to be able to have enough resources in terms of power to actually run the stations. I may also put down a couple of Ambrose class stations, probably only like 1 or 2 because of how expensive they are for the immediate future. I may do that. I'm going to need to work on my food and consumer goods production though. Arcadia though. Arcadia is going to be where my food supplies start to come from. This is going to be an agri-world. I mean, just look at all those agricultural districts. Can you see this being anything other than a farming world? Because I can't. And that'll be one of my mods that I have. Because I have made a slight change to my mod list between this episode and the previous one. I have mods that give me warnings for when your housing and jobs are low or you've run out of them. I'm not going to see to Earth right away because let's check our growth on Earth. 2.36 a month, and we're at 56. That's a couple of years, that's about a year and a half to 2 years away from being fully grown, I believe. And building anything takes 360 days, so I can wait, I think, until the growth is around 70-ish to build that, and we should still be alright. Luna's kind of closer to being fully grown now. For this next pop, but I still think I can wait. However, let's see here. What do I want to do? We could put a civilian industries on Luna and start producing stuff like that over on the moon. I would like to find how I'm supposed to produce more natural gas, though. Other than just colonize a planet that has it, I mean. Regolith Refinery. Helium-3 gas, apparently, that produces, but I'm not seeing anything related to that. Screw it. For now, I am just going to go ahead and plunk down a civilian industries on Luna. I can have a couple of those jobs. When that population finally grows in. This city district is going to provide a retailer jobs. Apparently overcrowding prevents further pop growth. That's interesting. Must be from one of my mods, because I know in the vanilla game that is not the case, that overcrowding prevents population growth. It's not the case in the vanilla game. But actually, let's check my policies. Why is refugees on citizen species only? No, no, no. Welcome all refugees. Let's see. I'm looking for anything here about population growth and overpopulation preventing the growth of more people. I'm not sure if that's something we can actually set, but I want to check. Migration habitability 60% minimum. Just switch when pops can automatically migrate. Actually don't. No, I don't see anything that can change that, so it must be a default thing. Probably from AlphaMod, that if you have overpopulation, it will prevent your population from growing further. Overcrowding is preventing pop growth, yeah. Must be a default thing. So, we'll just leave that be for now. And just let stuff happen. We've received communications from a previously unknown spacefaring empire called the Galactic Crawl Alignment, and claim to have learned of our existence by listening in on the communications of another empire we are in contact with. And this would be them right here, I suppose. What you got to say? They are a technocratic dictatorship and naive appeasers, apparently. They want to make everyone happy and are worried that others will not like them and fear conflict. They're easy to befriend but tend to be weak and vulnerable. We are the Galactic Crawl Alignment, minions of the wise overseer Crocky DeCoot. Our aim is to improve ourselves through the use of technology, and whether you agree with these goals or not, we trust you will remain amicable neighbors. Well, Akiri Yamasaki speaks on behalf of the Alliance people. Someone who's likely to be a friend. I like them. I do like them. What kind of worlds do you like? Cascadian. Can I check the habitability wheel? I'm not sure. And 0% for humans. Not sure if we have any Cascadian worlds in our territory, but I'm going to make some deals with them, I think. First of all, how would you like a non-aggression pact? also going to lower the speed down. They would love one. How about a migration treaty? So we can live on each other's worlds. Or colonize worlds each other have, which are not suitable for our own populations. Is really what I'm going for here. And they agreed to that. I'm also going to form a research agreement with them. And finally, I think a commercial pact would do us nicely. Sign the deal.
Construction completed.
And they agreed to that as well. Our construction on the Sirius starbase is finished. So yes, the Alliance has made our first friend, and we couldn't be happier. Really couldn't. Making friends. This is excellent. It really is. So excellent. Now, if only the Fallen Empire would let us through their territories. So that we could colonize things in other parts of the galaxy by sending our ships over to set up a little enclave elsewhere. That would be great, because then we wouldn't be stuck between these two, and would actually be able to expand. Communication from the progenitors. Oh, speak of the devil. As you no doubt know, we are dedicated to the study and conservation of all forms of life in the galaxy. We have studied your species and determined that the System Alliance is unlikely to last more than a few centuries at best. Oh, screw you! To ensure the continuation of the human species should the worst befall your empire, we would like to acquire a part of your population for our Endangered Species Preserve. We will construct a special reservation that perfectly mirrors the natural habitat of your species, and its population will be well taken care of and protected from all harm, so you need not worry on their behalf. So what do you say? Will you contribute to our preserve and safeguard the future of your species? Well, first, I've got to say, these guys are incredibly rude. I mean, honestly. They just come up to us and blatantly say we won't last more than a couple of centuries, and then ask for part of our population for what's effectively their zoo. How much ruder can you get? I mean, we could reject them. That's a perfectly viable option. Just say that our people are not for sale, but here's the thing, and this is more from a mechanical perspective. Generally, with the enigmatic observers, if you accept their proposals, it's very likely they'll open your borders. And if I can get a little enclave set up out here, then we can start expanding in some other directions, and we won't be so boxed in as we are now. So I'm going to give them their contribution, just in the hope they'll open their borders so I can start claiming some more systems, and not being stuck, boxed in between two hostile empires and a fallen empire. So, a human pop will be taken, apparently. I'm just going to check my population on all the worlds so I can see where it's coming from. 29 on Earth, 11 on Luna, and 8 on Osaka. Yeah, one of our pops on Osaka just got taken. Meaning we are now short one technician, and that's going to tank our income a bit. Also, our people are not overly happy that we effectively sent a human to live on an alien zoo. I'm going to send the science ship over there as well, because if they do open their borders, I'm going to want to survey a system just past their borders immediately, so we can claim it pronto.
A new world has been colonized.
And there we have Arcadia fully established in the Sirius system. Only one population there so far. But we're doing pretty good. I think we have 3 colonies already. And speak of the devil, they have opened their borders to us. And they really like us for accepting a request of plus 100 opinion. So go survey that
Construction
system
completed.
as soon as you can. Osaka now no longer has its population problem. Those guys are building a lot of mining stations. Calm here, these fellows can move off and build that. Then we can survey there and get started setting up a little enclave so we can expand outside our territory. And the project that we were engaging in with regard to the Ute is now done. Our archaeologists on Iberia 4 have learned that the listening arrays built there were used to scan space for any signs of intelligent alien life, something the Ute had never once encountered. After managing to partially restore power to a computer terminal, the archaeologists acquired a data disk with log files from the sensor arrays stretching over centuries. These logs suggest that this section of the galaxy was indeed devoid of sapient life at the time of the Ute Empire. Very interesting indeed, considering how fast you find other life in Stellaris, that the Ute would
Construction
not
completed.
have the same thing happen. Rather interesting, is it not? The Gotara Bastion has finished its second building. I'm going to leave it be for now. You can add the auxiliary buildings at a later date, I suppose. Time to make another jump with our construction ship. I mean, sure, I could just build another construction science ship up here and send them off to do that, but I'd rather make use of some of the existing ones I have, which aren't getting used much at all right now. More than anything else, really. Now we have a tiny bit more alloys. I'm going to reinforce the second fleet. So, our population on Arcadia is growing quite fast. 5 a month. And once
Construction
that population starts getting a little bit more explodey, we can finally start working towards making that our agri-world, because you're just barely in the negatives for food right now. The fleet power of the Kelbrid is equivalent to us, which I don't like. Also, their economy and technology is apparently superior, which I also do not like. That construction ship is on its way, claiming the border system with the progenitors now, and hopefully soon it will also be expanding our territory on the other side of theirs. Since we can pass through their space, I can use that to get around the fact we are effectively boxed in and claim territory in other parts of the galaxy. Which will be very handy indeed. Not long to go on that, fortunately. I've just got to be patient while my ships reach where they're going. Moving to a bunch of systems to build our energy mines, too. That's going to help us a great deal. Yes, Arcadia and Osaka are low on housing. Luna is out of jobs. Earth is out of jobs. Well, Luna's going to be fixed soon, and I think we've reached the point where we can lay down a job on Earth. I'm going to lay down a mining district. Our current leader
Construction completed.
has that as her promise for this particular... How do I put this? Well, that's basically her campaign promise for this term in office, to build a couple of mining districts and expand our mining. Which apparently mining is how you get naturals. No, not natural fuels. What the hell was I thinking that mining is how you get natural fuels? Derp. It's actinides that you get from mining. Apparently generator districts have a natural fuel upkeep too, unfortunately. So, we may need to find a way to get some more soon, or there will be problems. -1 energy currently. We've got to fix our energy deficit soon enough, but for the time being, I have more important things to worry about than such a minor problem. But our energy deficit should fix itself once we get enough of these energy mining stations built up, so that's fortunate. And the food deficit will be resolved once I start getting farms going on Arcadia. Which is having some very good population growth. Apparently the specialists on Osaka are not overly happy with us. What's wrong, guys? Ah, I see. Apparently their faction is unhappy with us. The fact we have high living costs. And most of all, the fact we surrendered our population to a fallen empire. We're gonna have to deal with that fallen empire debuff for a little while, but I'd say it's worth it to keep access to their territory. But speaking of factions, which ones of them are we displeased with? Ah, I see. They're a little bit upset. We have a neighbor that is technologically superior to us. That's what's going on. And the Borg Junior here is still superior in technology. We're trying to address that, but it's going to take some time. Unfortunately, they are not happy with that explanation, and therefore their members are a little bit miffed at us currently. Get your asses over there. Start surveying that system so that we can take it for ourselves.
Construction completed.
By the way, Second Fleet, you're owed some more starships. Earth finished that construction. So they'll have jobs for when our new population comes in. And now you see the benefits of multiple shipyards. We can build starships in parallel and have 2 corvettes coming out at the same time right now. And once this gets upgraded enough to have all 6 shipyards, we'll be able to produce 6 starships at the same time. Or in the case of upgrading a ship, upgrade 6 at the same time. Which, that is going to be just so useful during
Construction
wars.
completed.
When I can be pumping out that many ships at once. That population will come in next month.
Knowledge is the key to the universe.
There's our research done. So we can start pumping out robots now, which I'll be doing soon. Let's see, so we could increase our mining station output and unlock the Nebula refinery. Just get a flat increase to our engineering research. Or unlock fusion missiles. Let's see. Well, a good chunk of the ships in my fleet currently, if we go into the ship designer, a good chunk of my ships, as you can see with the Hecate class, are missile boats. So missiles are their primary weapons. Being able to upgrade what is the primary armament for the vast majority of my fleet would be very nice. So I think I'm going to go for that. Especially, we need more advanced weaponry, considering the people that we are currently bordering. I think it's kind of a necessity. Mr. Construction Ship, can you hurry it along, please? I would like to get us claiming systems outside of our local area soon enough. Luna is running low on jobs currently. Yeah, it's just they're running low on jobs. They're not out yet. Luna is out of housing, though. They're going to need some more. So, I will plunk down a bit more housing over on Luna, so that their population can keep growing a bit more, among other things. Our science ship is getting pretty close to starting to survey that system. Then we can set up a little enclave over there and claim
Research
territory
concluded.
that will not be hemmed in by these people. That would be so nice. And hello, increase to how much energy credits our jobs make. That should help with our income problems. Now we have research station output, blue lasers, and capacity overload plus energy grid. Well, the capacity overload one, while it's nice, is going to be quite expensive, so I'll hold off on that. I think actually I'm going to go for research station output, just to make it easier to get our research projects going faster. That's one thing that we really need to do right now with these early techs, get researching them a good deal quicker than we're currently capable of. Now let's see how much of a boon that boost to our income was. Excellent. We've gone from -3 energy to +3, so not as huge as I might have liked it to be, but it's still a quite nice increase in what we're making. Still 2 water processor jobs over here on Arcadia. Which is going to give the planet more water, apparently. I'm not really sure how the water system works in AlphaMod, to be perfectly honest, so if I'm getting things completely wrong with that, I do apologize. I'm going to have to alter our trade deals a little and sell some more minerals, as well as buy some more food, because we need to get that going on. And just balance our books again. Fortunately, we're up to +8 on consumer goods. It should help. That's just barely balanced things, though we're down 1 energy credit. These guys are headed off and about to jump into Fallen Empire territory. Go on then. And while you're at it, we can build this outpost. And then claim the system once they survey it. It will make it just ever so slightly cheaper to claim that once we have this one in our space. Make that jump. And I'm going to follow you. We don't particularly care for the Fallen Empire systems themselves. Surveying them, I mean. At the moment, I'm more interested in other things. Like the systems on the other side of them. Because I want to add those to my empire, or at the very least, discover some of the galaxy that we can't currently reach because of these assholes. speaking of, let's have a look at the expansion planner. Only show me places I can currently colonize. Why are you only showing the habitability for humans? We have a migration treaty. Honestly. Whatever. How can we not... Apparently we cannot build colony ships from these guys' population. For some reason, I thought you could build colony ships with their population once you had a migration treaty. I guess that's not the case. Or AlphaMod changed it, I'm not sure which, but I could have sworn I saw someone do that in a Megacorp playthrough. I couldn't tell you who it was, though. Oh well. That's a little bit annoying, but we'll just deal with it, I suppose. Now get over to whatever the hell this system is. It's a pretty small one, but ideal for the first in our enclave of territory that we will be claiming over here. Okay, what's the problem? Ignore that, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. Luna has no free housing. Well, I'm building housing there. So shut up. All of those notifications are things that I can wait to address or that are currently being addressed. The economy is now equivalent with those guys. I can now upgrade the fleet by adding some more ships to our second fleet. That's going to be an additional 3 corvettes to this fleet. Second fleet, we're still working towards all of the corvettes. We have encountered someone new on the opposite side of the douchebag cultists. An empire called the Moj-Huxgan Republic. I represent the Moj-Huxgan Republic. Our elected leader, Commissary General Cisalin, hopes for peaceful relations with your people, but know that we are more than capable of defending our way of life. They are military commissariat and honor-bound warriors. Well, we are a military commissariat, so we get along on that front. They are fanatic militarists and spiritualists. We are materialists, though, so there may be some religious tension that we have to deal with. Anyways, hello. How do you feel about us? Plus 50. They think we're materialist fools, but we have mutual rivals in the form of the Sacred Order. They're not interested in a migration treaty or a non-aggression pact. Non-aggression's mostly negated by honor-bound warriors. they are too far away for us to really have any diplomatic relations with. But they like us. And they're pretty friendly. Their fleet power is also inferior to ours, so if we did end up at war with them at some point, I think we could take them. The fleet power of these guys is also inferior, so I was considering just doing a quick land grab and nabbing these couple of systems to the galactic north of their capital. That way I would be open to expand like that a little bit. But I'd like to avoid that, if at all possible, for the time being anyways.
Construction completed.
That's great. Now build me a mining station there. And then get yourself over into that system so you can build our outpost there once they finish surveying it. So that we can start expanding in other places then.
Construction completed.
Sirius Starbase is done with its construction, and the second fleet is up to 392 military strength. I'm going to wait to build any more ships until we have at least the one outpost up. Because we need our alloys for that as well, don't forget.
Construction completed.
Luna now has its problems with housing resolved. And we're already about halfway to building that energy mining station. On inside mining, we are halfway there. One more planet, then we can arrive, and then we can claim that system. And the two pricks that we are neighboring down here have rivaled each other. Meaning, ironically, both the people that we hate, well, not the assimilators, but now the cultists hate us less. Well, if I wanted to, I could de-rival them and try and get our diplomatic relations going a bit better. But at the moment, I don't see that happening. We're really kind of pissed at the way they've been acting towards us, and are going to show it. Now, this planet here should be nice and surveyed soon.
Construction completed.
We finished that mining station, so they're on their way.
System survey concluded.
Yes, that system has been successfully surveyed. Now, if we want to claim it, that's 90 influence. Which, just to show you, that's double what it would cost for claiming something right next door. Cascading costs and all that. But this will enable us to start expanding in other places and not have to be hemmed in by our two rivals. Who are the Multics Hive? Oh, they are that hive that we were observing. And they would like to be given control of the Aplobus Starbase. Now, under a lot of circumstances, I might be inclined to agree with them on this, but I've invested a lot of resources into that station, and it has significant strategic importance to me, so I'm going to have to reject that demand. It's nothing personal. It's just that I require control of that starbase for strategic reasons. If you're willing to pay back the alloys that I spent establishing my anchorage there, I would consider it, but I don't think you are. We've also found the broken planet, and some aliens have turned up. It says that we've become owner of this colony, and the hive is destroyed. Apparently rejecting that caused them to cease to exist and just become, quote, wage slaves. So that makes them, as you can see, our subjects. We've also found more aliens. We found Phi aliens and Chi aliens. I'm going to start researching them immediately, so we can see what they are. I know that one group of them is just effectively space cows, but the others we know nothing about so far, because I'm not sure where they're hanging out. They've just jumped back in. Let's see. Yeah, those are actual aliens. And it would seem that someone has controlled this system. So, I want to analyze the broken planet immediately, so that if they're hostile, we do not get locked out of their territory. Once we encounter one another. Because I don't think we can claim a system that a starbase exists in just because we have yet to contact civilization. Because the starbase is already there.
The special project has concluded.
Yes, mass extinction asteroid. This is actually a chunk of what was once a habitable and probably inhabited planet. Regular but overlapping fracture patterns indicate that the planetary demolition was intentional and controlled. It's somewhat rushed. All signs point to this planet being the homeworld of whatever species destroyed it. We may never know what drove them to consider planetary annihilation to be the lesser evil. And perhaps we should be grateful for that. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing that they apparently thought the lesser of two evils was to destroy their own planet. Disturbing doesn't really begin to cover it, quite frankly. But yes, apparently that's a thing. And We have been contacted by the so-called Holy Themlar League. Where are they? And where's that when they're at home? Ah, they're just south of Borg Junior, I see. I bring greetings from revered Elder Supay, the elected leader of the Holy Themlar League. We believe in the right of all sapient beings to fulfill their individual spiritual needs, and we trust that an enlightened species such as yourself share this sentiment. That's nice. We're running into a lot of nice aliens. I really do appreciate that. Plenty of nice aliens around, even if we are surrounded by a couple of assholes we're going to have to deal with before we can interact with the nice ones. Unlike in my last game as the System Alliance, where I quite literally started surrounded by a bunch of genocidal maniacs and slavers, and had to conquer both of my neighbors pronto-like, and then kept on conquering people because of how annoying it was that everyone hated me, so I had to go to war with all of them. They've closed their borders to us for some reason. That's unfortunate. I wish you wouldn't do that. We like you, and we'd like to get along with you. But the whole border closure thing makes having pleasant diplomatic relations a little bit tricky, quite honestly. Going to establish a second anchorage now. Keep at it. Survey of surveyness. We've also begun establishing our starbase here. Which, thanks to its location, I am probably going to upgrade to be a starbase just so I can produce ships. Oh, we're a bit surrounded currently by the Prosnak Trade Union there, so I will get a grand total of 1 system out of this venture. Have to claim some more up here. The Iconian Combine. Where are they? Hello, Iconian Combine. Oh, they're a protectorate under those guys. Exchange of cultures and ideas. Nice, nice. Oh. These fellows, though, are xenophobes. So get your butts out of their territory. I know I'm not gonna make it, though. They're going to close their borders soon. And that ship will be lost until it makes it back home. That is what's going to happen. It always bloody happens. And we are going to have to wage war against them at some point. That much I can tell you for certain.
Construction completed.
Yes, they will not be pleased. At all. Okay, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, thank God. Now at least if they decide to shut their borders to me, my science ship got out of their space before they did it. But the trade union is pathetic compared to us. So, if I wish to engage in a little bit of, shall we say, strategic border relocation, that would be entirely feasible. And I'm considering it. I really, really am. As I don't like that one system being just boxed in. I may have to relocate the borders a little bit. Now, let's see. We're about to go... Oh, I already took Supremacy last time. Somehow I forgot about that. What I'm going to take is the Master's ship rights, to have our ships take less time and cost less. In addition to the way I'm running my particular fleet doctrines, that will make them even cheaper. Which I am very much appreciative of. Why are you being killed off? Why, really? Mindless drones that cannot be integrated into society. So it's not so much they're being killed off, but more that they are incapable of being properly integrated into society and are just dying because, for whatever reason, Stellaris would have you believe that annexing a hive mind means that hive mind and central intelligence ceases to exist. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous, but what you gonna do? I don't know. It just seems dumb to me, really. Maybe I should upgrade that to a shipyard now. That way we could go to war with these guys and take some of their northern systems. I'm not interested in their planets right now. I just want some of their star systems. They are currently pathetic, so this is about as good an opportunity as I'm going to get to rearrange the borders. I don't need much off of them. Those 8 systems right there. I could be satisfied with that. Though, if I added in... If I was able to push it down to that system, I could make that a choke point. So I'll wait until I have the influence to claim everything in one go. I need 18 more. Well, that's another 4 months to get the influence I'm going to need. And once I do that, then I can claim that. We'll get the fleets in position for a war because, as I was saying, I don't want to annex them. I just want some of their northern territories, so that my little enclave has room to grow. They can move south all they want, but those northern systems I am taking. Yeah, for strategic reasons, like I said. We need to rearrange the border situation. I'm not happy with how the border with the trade union is right now, so it needs to be rearranged. Osaka is out of jobs, it appears. I'm going to give them another energy producing district. Some generators. Arcadia has no housing currently. They still have one water processor job. It's to be filled. I'm going to build them an agricultural district now. Let them get their housing from that. Then once the water processor is done, they can use the housing provided by that to live in. Let's see. They do not like us currently, obviously. But my claims are not going to make things much better. The question now becomes, is this enough? I think it would be, and that system would make a very nice choke point. I'm not going to put the claims down just yet. I want my fleets in position before I lay claim. So we'll reinforce the second fleet a little more. Over on Earth, I don't know if I'm going to need this or not, but I'm going to start the recruitment of 4 armies. I'd like to be able to just take that territory and then sue for peace, but I don't know if they'll go for that. They might very well decide not to. So I have to prepare for that. However, as I've said, if I want to have this enclave mean anything, then it's absolutely essential that I relocate the border in such a manner. So I'm going to deploy my fleets over to the Kebderon system. I don't think the Fallen Empires would like me using their territory as a staging ground for military offensive. And they probably won't like it happening next door to them either. Just found the burned planet. Yeah, they probably won't like it happening next door either. But I think once we explain that we're not interested in conquering their planets, just some of their star systems, so that we're able to safely expand, they'll be willing to go along with it. Okay, not sure how long that was going on, but my microphone briefly muted itself, so I was just saying I'm going to cut this here because I think we've been going for long enough. It's getting into the hour and 50-minute range, actually. which is the long end of my videos. But anyways, I'm going to cut it here. Then next time we will be going to war with the trade union there, and engaging in a little bit of strategic border relocation. We are not really going to be conquering anything other than star systems. And I almost missed that one up there. Yes, we're going to be claiming some of their star systems so we can expand north. I'm not going after their planets. I may at some point, but not just yet. Anyways, if you've enjoyed this, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to see more like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. See you then, folks. See you then.